Hey everyone, this is Potato Couch. I'm Tio.
I'm Michael.
Clay.
Sorry, I've been starting these episodes off because I feel like I'm the most
Emotionally sane individual.
Because you already know what's happening.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yuri has just breached a deep subject.
Well,
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
I guess it's alright then.
Oh yeah, it is.
But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books, writing from my thoughts.
My whole body gets...
What the fuck did it just say?
History.
History, that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
History, what shit?
I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange.
I'll look back at it in the head.
Yeah. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
That's... I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading.
What was that in the corner?
What was what in the corner?
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
No, what
What are you
happened?
talking about?
Something flashed in the corner.
Did it?
Like by the bookshelf?
By the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Like
Where your
like
mouse
here?
is.
Where the... Oh, it might have been my mouse.
No.
It wasn't? Okay, I didn't...
Was that like a figure or
I
something?
legitimately didn't see what you saw.
We'll go behind the
I could just be
scenes.
seeing shit.
I don't know, we'll see.
I'm probably seeing
The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all.
That's true.
Just keep
In
your eyes on your
fact-
face, please.
What?
So just keep your eyes on your face, please.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Oh!
Yes.
She is Satan!
I mean, you don't have to, but...
What's it with this game and eyes?
What are you saying?
Did her eyes turn on?
Eyes are the windows to the soul.
Well, you need to break those windows. I don't want to see your soul.
You know, someone
Just like the damn thing.
Oh no, she's gonna...
let me just get the book.
She's
I
gonna-
quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag.
She's gonna gouge her own eyes out?
Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Is she gonna stab herself in the
Yeah.
eye?
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company.
I don't want to watch her cute.
It's
CG anymore.
it's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read.
Everything is a lot more sinister.
It's not a
now.
particularly bad thing.
Oh, it's
It's a-
horrible.
it's
Maybe a little
bad.
distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting.
No, it's not.
Yuri is in the corner of my
No,
eye.
she's not.
I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book.
I
I glance over.
no.
It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry.
I was just bathing in the feeling of...
What?
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Leave me alone.
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book
I
open.
don't want to watch the CG.
I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
I was gonna say, don't put your hat in front of your eyes, Clay. You're reading some of this.
I'll see the thing.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's boobs, and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Turn the page.
Here I am. On the road again. Here I... Okay, sorry. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second by her boobs. Oh, I just noticed she's looking at us. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Thumbs are so sexy! Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all.
You need to speak up.
No, I don't relate to this character at all.
I don't relate to this character at all. She's caught by surprise?
I don't remember that face.
I don't remember that face either, and that's kind of creepy. Definitely not.
Really?
That's not in the
I was
game.
just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry.
She's
Psychotic. I believe I meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. That's not the beginning of the game. We didn't even get that far yet. That's not the beginning of the game.
We didn't even get that far.
So I don't know why that came into my head.
I'd like to come into your head.
Shut up.
Yuri, are you feeling alright?
Eh?
Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing's a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat and her boobs.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. That's creepy. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom.
don't push yourself.
What on earth was that about? Spop?
Go away.
Did something happen just now?
No.
Yeah? I have no idea.
What did Monica say when we were leaving?
To
Don't push yourself. Don't strain yourself.
Don't strain yourself, yeah. Why?
You're so weird not to push yourself.
Okay.
This is-
Common phrase.
Okay.
Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
This is not in the game.
So, you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry. I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and then slip it back into my bag.
Yuri's missing, and now it's just those two.
Natsuki or Monica, we gotta wait for Yuri to come back from wherever she ran off to. Who do we show the poem to?
Oh, it's Monica. I don't care.
Hey.
Well, this might be here.
Hey.
Why don't you pat him on the crotch? Okay.
Natsuki or Monica?
Natsuki.
Natsuki? Alright, that means you're gonna read for this one, Michael. Because I'm not reading for all your characters.
Fine.
Unless you feel like you're too drunk to do it, then I
I'm not drunk.
Alright.
Oh, yeah,
I told
one
Natsuki
bottle.
I was interested in her poems yesterday.
I'm not that much of a lightweight.
It's probably only fair. Probably only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Dots.
Dots question mark.
Spop, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh?
What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
Well, I mean, I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it.
No.
Painful to think about?
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid.
It's the same one that she started with.
Monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. That's cute.
She's so cute.
Sounds like a Shel Silverstein poem. I know who he is.
The sidewalk.
Is that one of his poems?
All of that. Yeah, those are two of his books.
Oh, right. I had one of his books as a kid and remember reading.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I told
No.
you that you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
I like it too.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well,
That's a deep subject.
because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously.
I would.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like it. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
It does have a good message, though, when you think about it.
But the other nice thing about about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose.
On purpose. Air quotes. On purpose.
It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro.
You're a pro?
Vampire Tooth.
Adorable.
I'm glad that you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Alright, who should we show the poem to next?
Bitch.
Bitch.
Hi, Spop. Having a good time so far?
No.
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
No.
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Spop. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
Great job, Spop. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism and that bullshit. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her.
She's a sociopath.
But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness.
I feel like she is.
I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier.
Coming on strongly.
I think...
I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time.
It's kind of like me. What? Suddenly the door opens.
Yuri!
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other.
Already? I'm sorry for being late.
No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed.
Alright, darling. Thanks, Monica.
Thanks, bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Why don't they remind me of Date the Cat from Sonic Adventure DX? I suppose I should go get my poem now.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now?
Froggy.
Froggy!
Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall.
I already read this one.
But
right?
he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right here. He's right there. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen.
It sounded different.
That does sound a bit different.
So, what do you think?
It's very free form, if that's what you call it.
It does. I think I may have said this same one before, but it just sounds like it would belong in a poetry slam.
Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Squiggles.
Who should I show my poem to next? Who?
Sayori.
Who?
Sayori.
So Michael and Clay, Michael and Clay have made up this joke character, I guess. Which I'm actually proud of Clay for actually thinking of like a Japanese name to go with it. But yeah, I'm not sure. They're just messing with me. It just came out of nowhere.
Press Ray.
Show it to Yuri. ... As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
No.
Wee, wee,
Don't lighten. Don't lighten. They're gonna start floating above your head again.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Ooh. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
How do you just turn off your face like that?
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicate you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. So be gentle. Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. ...
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fit the two together. The end result is that both style and expressiveness are weakened.
Ah. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Do we have to read it? Do we have to read it?
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Please do.
Oh, Jesus.
She'd love to share her
I'd
thought
love to
process.
share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost Under the Light. This is the same one that she wrote for her initial.
Is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same first poem. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back.
Waffles.
You can't control that just a little bit.
Waffles, man.
Alright, so on that sickening note, we have saved, and we're going to continue this
I want to go and jump in a hole. And
next time on the potato couch.
I want to sleep.
Michael, got anything you want to say?